So this is what it looks like in New York City right now. Canadian wildfires making the air pollution in New York City worse than on 9/11s. But as the demons say, never let a good crisis go to waste. When the dust settles after this situation, this is not the last you'll be hearing of this event. Every time there's a crisis, the bureaucracy usurps more power from the people. This is what I think is going to happen next. Of course, naturally, they're going to blame it on the climate. We all know that's coming. But what I believe will happen in addition to that is that they will likely put in new laws, perhaps in the state of New York, and maybe try to get it nationally. That starts with how cities, states, municipalities handle these types of events, and also what people are able to do during them. If they say that Canada, or perhaps if another state had a wildfire and it polluted the air in a neighboring state, city, country, whatever, that they would be financially responsible. And then the language from such a bill could be used to include things like fossil fuels, not just air pollution from something like a fire. Like, oh, the city of Los Angeles is polluting the air that's going to this other place. So they have to bill that city or bill that state or bill that municipality or bill that county for the supposed air pollution. Then using that billing, that financial negative or whatever, that potential liability as a, well, we have to go to electric energy or clean energy because there's this law about polluting the air. And then the parts per million will just go down over time. No matter what, they will make this about the climate, they'll make this about clean energy, they'll make it about air pollution, and they'll involve everything from gas stoves to cars to perhaps air travel and whatever else down the line. And this is just one of many. This will also usher in human behavior management in the result of some climate and or environmental disaster scenario, where the logic, instead of how it should be and was for the last several hundred years in America, where the rights of the individual were more important than the theoretical rights of the theoretical collective. But in the same way that they said that you had to get the juice to protect everybody else, the community, they will say that in the event of some air pollution or some poisoning or whatever, you're not allowed to move, you're not allowed to leave your home, you're not allowed to drive, and they will restrict your rights in such an event like this. And of course, those restrictions will only apply to the peasants, where the buses, the trains, or whatever else will have to be shut down, but you'll be able to take your yacht, you'll be able to take your private jet or whatever. Wouldn't want to stop that. It's business or whatever. Rules for thee, as it usually and always is. Then it's like, are these wildfires natural? Maybe they are. I'm not a forestry management person. But here's the thing. If you have bad forestry management, for example, like you don't do controlled burns, you don't monitor these things because you're too worried about telling kids to cut off their pen 15, then you could essentially create these events. Not necessarily by creating them, but allowing an environment to fester where such a thing is almost bound to happen. It's like you don't have to make a person overdose, but if you give them a free crack pipe, it's a lot more likely. You don't have to do it for it to happen. You understand? Because at the end of the day, whom the bureaucracy worships, and where ultimately all of our rights, what they will try to sacrifice to, is the planet. They will say that you shouldn't be able to move, you shouldn't be able to travel, you shouldn't be able to eat meat, you shouldn't be able to do X, Y, and Z because of the planet. And they already say this, but this event is going to be the photo evidence, the marketing strategy for how they continue to sell this to people. Let it be known that this and many other events like it will be used every single time to usurp power from the individual, to take your rights away and put more of your rights in the hands of the bureaucracy. And once they have them, you will never get them back. You'll see. Watch how they cover this event in the next couple of weeks. Watch what Eric Adams says. Watch what Kathy Hochul says. You'll see. They will be ushering in this exact strategy.